America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was excuse me.
Now, it may get bigger, it may get a little bigger, it may not get bigger at all. We'll see what happens. But regardless of what happens, we're totally prepared.
This is your victory. Now, I know you didn't do this just to win an election. I know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you understand the enormity of the task that lies ahead.
You're not going to believe this. He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. Guy was an interior decorator. His house looked like shit.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
So just chill out. You know, drink a 7-Up, eat a moon pie, quit murdering people.
What's up, everybody? I'm Coach Casey. This is TJ. Welcome to the middle of the road.
What was that from?
I don't know. I sent you something. It was just a TikTok thing, but it was some preacher, and that was his advice was just have a 7-Up.
Eat a moon pie.
Eat a moon pie.
Man,
stop murdering people.
I tell you what, if I eat a moon pie, I got limited time.
I don't know the last time it was probably back in our mowing suburban days that I actually had a moon pie. I don't remember who it was, but there was somebody there that was a moon pier, and I just remember
Have you ever had a banana one? Those are the ones that really
See, I'm not a big fan of any. I like bananas, and there's a few, but even like the runts, everything that is a banana flavored something is
banana's my favorite. Like banana Laffy Taffy. Holy shit.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
number one flavor.
Man, I'd probably like a strawberry or red. Something red is
purple.
Yeah, I do like the perp.
Yeah.
I do like the purple.
Perps and perks, man.
Well, if you are joining us, I got to get that off here. It's going to throw me off. If you're just joining us, you left us last week, and I was power drinking honey Dayquil, some sort. I had it sitting up here. I don't have it here, but and I went to a basketball game, and I had lost my voice screaming. I'd been drinking. It was well documented that I wasn't actually sick, that I was, that I was just suffering from some hangovers and screamings and I don't know what I did here. I'm messing everything up.
Now we got no signal.
But it turns out that I started feeling a little crappy after the show, and I ended up with the COVID.
Even though you lied and said you didn't have it.
Well, but I didn't. I mean, to start the show, I told you I felt fine. I wasn't coughing. I wasn't doing anything during the show. I just couldn't talk. And I told you that the night before. Voice had been gone since Friday, went to a game Thursday night, screamed. I mean, I got drunk and I screamed. It made sense. We did a whole 5-hour show after and watched fights.
Yep.
We watched the Fury and Paul fight. I felt fine. We had a great TikTok following, a great clapper following. We almost had 1,000 people for a while. We had a fan base of drinker. Everything was going good. Every time I'd lose my voice, people would tell me, drink some more of that honey.
Yep.
And it was back. Well, right after the show, I started feeling down a little bit. Went out to move the cars in. Storms were coming. Got the chills. Got the sore throat. Got the headache. Took a test. Got the COVID.
Yeah.
Moved out to the studio here for a week, which if you're joining us and you're regular, you'll see some things have changed a little bit since last show. And so I went on my darkness retreat.
Darkness retreat.
And I feel kind of like
hello, darkness, my old friend.
I feel kind of like Aaron Rodgers, I think, trying to adjust back to life, reality, all that after.
How did he find it to the shitter and stuff like that? Like,
I don't know how that works in the darkness. I think you have a bucket in the room with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I didn't listen. I need to.
Yeah, I didn't listen.
Surely he was on Pat McAfee and he talked about it.
He did, but I don't know from the clips I'd seen so far. He didn't. I know he had whatever that weird. Did you see that? He was on some podcast with some healistic guy right after he came out. And that was so far the most information. And he talked a little bit on that, but I didn't even watch that one because it's some weirdo healistic guy that
Yeah.
probably is the guy that put him on the ayahuasca trips or
Yeah,
whatever.
no shit.
So I spent a week out here, took a week off work, and apparently got you sick.
Even though you don't think you did, but you
Well,
did.
no, I guess before, all week you were texting me things like, did your left toe fall off?
Mm-mm.
And I'd say no. And then you'd say, oh, did you have a craving for spaghetti with mayonnaise on it? And I'd no. And then you'd be like, man, I had my left eye kept twitching for
Those are not any things I text you.
every symptom you sent me or thing you said was different. I mean, we were talking regularly. Up until you walked into the show, the only thing I thought you had was a headache one day and the shits. You've had a stomach ache.
No, massive fucking headache and coughing, and then now it's turned into.
But you
my
weren't
stomach.
even, because you were we had talked one day after, and
I
Friday I talked to you after your class, and you said
I was feeling better then. It's weird. It's been like 2-3 days, feel like shit, and then all of a sudden, then it's like my stomach, and that's the only thing that I care about, because it's like your stomach just fucking drags you down.
No, I'm
man.
with you 100%. I have extreme IBS. I have a stomach ache from the minute I wake up until
that's
I
why
go
you
to
don't
bed
know. Maybe you didn't
every
notice
single
it.
day.
Maybe you didn't
So,
notice it.
well, I would notice a harder core one. I
Maybe
mean, if it was like
take over that because you just
very
already-
true. I mean,
yeah.
I deal with that all the time. Just like I put on Facebook, we were supposed to have Skin Man here with us today.
He is there.
We've got Bucket Skin Man wearing my new shirt.
Nice.
In the corner. If you can't see that on TikTok but on Facebook you can.
We can see that you're pointing over there.
Okay. And he threw out his back. And God damn it, my back's thrown out every day.
Yeah.
I wake up every day with a thrown out back. So those aren't new things to me. It's like
You're used to operating at about 20%.
yes.
So whenever that's because you're immortal, and most mortals.
I would say I think I'm immortal, but I am definitely mortal. So I can just keep pushing through,
I guess. Well, you just getting used to cockroaches are getting used to getting stomped on.
That's
so.
true. And you just fight, but they're ain't able to smash us out. You
Yeah.
know, the raid ain't working no more.
Yeah.
I
better boot or something.
I did say basically I just turns out I did call this. I was at work today and somebody asked, do you know what variant you had? Well, the COVID test doesn't tell you that.
Yeah.
But I said I meant something else, but I said I had the Omarosa version, the Omarosa variant.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody at work knew who Omarosa was. Do you? I mean, you know who she is.
She's
I mean,
the black chick
from Apprentice,
yeah.
and she was in the
Trump's cabinet for a little bit.
Yeah. But nobody at work knew that, and they're all hardcore right wing. So it's then it got me thinking, God damn it, I'm that liberal that knows right wing people that we've made famous or whatever that aren't actually. Well,
Yeah.
I thought she was more famous because she split with him during the thing, and they had a big fallout where she was possibly the whistleblower in the White House for a big portion of the time. So, but it turns out I was meant to say Omicron, but I think
say things. That's what I tell people. Well, my wife specifically. It's like she'll say something wrong and she'll be like, "Same thing." I'm like, these.
no, just
not-
because they're fairly similar sounding.
Yeah,
No, they're not.
It's
but
not the same thing because if you say
tomato is the same thing.
yeah, but if
potato
you're
potato,
meant to say I can do that, but you said can't instead.
and then you say
Wh-
same thing.
When you say can't, that means I think that you're not able to do it.
Yeah.
But just you mistyped or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's not the same thing.
No, that is different. But you knew what I meant.
Yeah, but I'm
That's
supposed
the other
to know.
thing
yeah.
she says.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know about her, but women in general.
Or anybody that's like, no, same thing, man.
So you obviously haven't followed Rodgers any. Basically, no word on he's meeting with the Jets this week. Did you see?
Why would you want to go there?
They
They're
got a
fucking
ton of young weapons, a
Yeah, but
great
they're
defense.
It's not for money.
What's that?
It's not for money.
No, he's not going for money. It's going for a bigger market.
Yeah,
It's
but he's already the biggest star.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to say. I honestly don't know why, because I don't think it's
They
as,
pay more taxes there.
Yeah,
you
I
got to
don't-
go to Miami or something like. Not that they'll take.
Yeah.
They want him, but
I don't know if
or
that's
Tampa Bay.
his best place to. Of course, most of the places, like when Durant went there, they offered him basically the Nets can do this offsetting pay for that reason. So like a lot of franchises, that's
Technically, they're in New Jersey, so there
Yeah.
might be a little bit.
and maybe it is different.
Yeah, so now that Derek Carr, things
Is
are
it
going
the
to start
same-
falling into
yeah,
place. So
We'll see.
I saw something today, and they're like, they got rid of Andy Dalton, a 30-year-old quarterback who only made like $2 million last year, for another 30-year-old quarterback who went 6 and whatever.
Well, Dalton's like 34, but
Yeah, and then they got another 30-year-old quarterback that went 4-10 or whatever he went, and they're going to pay him $150 million or whatever.
Yeah, and I think the thing about him, an honest sense of it, compared to like Geno Smith just got 3-year, 105.
105. Yeah.
So he's getting like $33 million a year. Technically,
like 100 guaranteed too.
yeah,
right?
to Carr. So he's technically only $25 million a year. And in the market, considering that Jones for the Giants today just signed a $40 million a year contract, and he's never done anything. The most yards he's thrown for was 3,200, 29 touchdowns, and 50.
Yeah.
Like the market's so weird that if you can get a quarterback that you do think can win you games, and I'll say this, I don't know who Derek Carr really is, but every receiver that was on that team came out and said, thank you, Jesus. Well, like Michael Thomas came out and said, thank you, Jesus. That rookie that they have out of Olivier or whatever, who actually had a good season out of Ohio State, said,
oh, yeah.
thank God, So obviously they see a guy that can put the ball down the field. I think that he's just not that it factor type guy. And, 4 quarterbacks in 5 or 6 years in the NFL at the Raiders. Nobody can win at the Raiders. Look at Moss. Moss fell apart at the Raiders, went away, and then became the best receiver in the NFL again. Jerry Rice died a Raider. You go to Raiders to die. You leave them with look what happened to Antonio Brown once he became a Raider. He never even played a game there.
Yeah, and he never had any issues before that. Just a good dude before that.
Well, besides the sickness, what have you been up to? I have a couple things.
Nothing really.
What was your take on? We talked about it a little bit, but you got out of here pretty quick because you were in trouble. We watched we're a week past, and I know the world's moved on. What was your take on the Fury Paul fight?
Well, when we were watching it live, you couldn't see as much. Looking back at highlights, he pieced him up big time.
What's that?
I said Tyson Fury pieced him up.
He did.
Not Tyson.
But I know Tommy Fury.
He pieced him up
big
time.
He definitely outboxed him, outpointed him.
And that's why he won.
And it was the knockdowns that everybody's seen. But, as far as a boxing match, 6 rounds to me went to Fury. And that's not how they scored it. But as far as watching the match, he was more active. He landed more punches. He took more punches. He,
Wasn't holding him the whole time.
No, I'm interested to see what the rematch looks like and how different, because Paul's obviously, this is what I will say. We said we don't know how great of a boxer Fury is, but Fury couldn't knock him out and couldn't finish him in any way. So,
yeah, he didn't even get close.
No, I don't. Never once do I think that, other than like maybe once he put him in the corner and was working him good, but never was like power shotting him or anything. So I think he wanted to outpoint him. Well, then that brings me to, during that same show, I basically had given up on John Jones. And I don't know if it was given up on John Jones. I just said, I don't know
what's going to happen.
Well, and I don't know if he's this GOAT that everybody's making him out to be. And I also said, I don't know if winning this fight necessarily just makes him the GOAT automatically. Then he came out and destroyed a guy that was supposed to give him a heck of a match.
Yeah.
Now, had they stood and fought.
Didn't that guy go full rounds with Ngannou?
Yeah, and on the ground. And Ngannou's not a great wrestler, and he did out-wrestle him. That's how I think everybody said, well, John Jones is a freak wrestler if he just does that. I figured 2 or 3 rounds, domination on the ground, wore him down, choke him out. I didn't think a freaking front side guillotine.
He did that same to Machida, right?
But a standing one to Machida. That was a badass one to Machida, but Machida ducked into him on that one. This one he literally mounted him, crawled on top.
It was weird. It was almost like the dude let him do it.
When you watched, watching it live, like Rogan and Cormier and those guys are like, I don't even see how you got him. But then you go back and you look and see, dude, he was under him, but bigger than that. He had his head fucking smashed against the cage. He had,
he had nowhere to go.
You can usually pull back. If you pull back, you're only tightening that grip up then. So I don't know. I think John Jones looked like a fat turd when he did the.
Did you hear how strong he is right now? I saw something. He was like, they're asking him about weight or something. He said 245, and they're like, how much are you benching or something? He goes, I'm deadlifting like 625. He's like, bench, I don't know, 525.
It's hard to know. I did watch his thing, and he was putting up big weights. He just didn't. And I know he needed to put. That didn't look like the 3-year buildup of a body. That looked like 3 years of letting it go, and then 6 months of hardcore training.
Yeah, either way, he's fucking man.
Yeah, I would have liked.
We'll see what happens
We'll see
when he
what.
fights,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mir, because that.
Stipe.
Yeah, he can fight on the ground
Mhm.
and he can fight standing up, and so we'll see what.
It's yeah.
He doesn't need to bring quite that same weight against him. He wanted the weight because he wanted to be able to control him on the ground.
I saw Dana said. Dana goes, I never say never, but this time I'm saying never. And
But-
Ganyu's never gonna fight here again.
Yeah, and
so he
that's-
must have really fucking pissed Dana White off because he was really counting on. They were really pushing that Ngannou thing, and he fucked him over. And I think they offered him a shitload of money too. And
Yeah, it came out something after, and it was something. It would have been like the highest
Yeah,
payday
ever, yeah,
ever. Because
yeah.
I think this was like I heard that Gagne made like $5.5 million for like the biggest
Yeah.
payday that he.
they said John Jones made $6 million in 2 minutes. Is what they said. And
Well,
he'd probably make way more than that.
Well, and I think
other
part
shit.
of his deal was he's one of the only fighters that gets a piece of pay per view, and I don't know. I think it's
probably besides Connor. Yeah.
yeah. So, did you see any of that? Connor and Chandler getting into it?
I haven't seen that. I read about it, and then, God, he just looks different. Connor.
Well,
like,
with the
looks-
black hair, he's filming the
Oh,
movie right now. That's
yeah.
why he looks different. He's all shaven off in the black hair.
Mhm.
Because did you see the preview for like how ripped Gyllenhaal
Yeah,
is?
dude, he looks good, man.
With HGH and when you
Yeah,
can
but
take,
still.
well, yeah, I mean, but for
Yeah. And then I saw that Michael Chandler was saying something about what they wanted to fight at, and he said Connor says he wants to fight at 185. He goes, I'm 192 pounds right now. And some people just don't understand like how much weight those dudes cut.
well, and that's the difference in like there are a few of them that you watch that are seem to be like the longer gas tank guys. Those are the ones that only walk around 10 or 12,
Yeah.
15 pounds heavier. But yeah, you listen
Like
to.
he's talking like he's gonna cut if they fight at 155. That's like almost 40 pounds.
Well, that's what I remember. Even
but it'll weigh 20 pounds
that's
more
what
the next
Silva,
day.
he fought
Yeah.
at 185, and they
Yeah,
said he used to walk
220.
around 220 to 240 at certain times. You know,
That's what I was telling somebody. I
but
think
you
it was
never
probably
wrestled growing up, did
No,
you?
we didn't even have wrestling.
So the
going on.
life of a wrestler, and I only went up to like 8th grade wrestling, but
Mhm.
even then, I would wrestle one meet, say at, I don't remember the heaviest I wrestled, 115 or 120 or whatever
Mhm.
at that time, and then the next meet they'd have me wrestle at 108, and
Mhm.
I'm a pretty shredded kid at 115 that then has to figure out how to cut 7 pounds in a week.
Yeah.
When you don't have 7, I wasn't gaining 7 pounds. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
It's just crazy that they can gain so much weight back. But wrestling same day, right?
sometimes you weigh in the day before,
Yeah.
and then some you wrestle
But
day of.
UFC's like 36 hours because you weigh in like at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday and you don't fight till like 9 o'clock at night on Saturday.
Yeah,
so that
it's-
gives them a lot of time
Well,
to recover.
I remember I just watched an interview with what were we just talking about him, GSP, and
Mhm.
he said that for like one of his I don't remember, but he fought at 170 most of the time.
Yeah.
And he said there was multiple fights he went in at over 190.
Yeah,
So that's 20 pounds in.
I don't understand. I don't understand how it
'Cause
works,
they-
but I know
well-
it does.
Well, you think your body's 70% water. If
Yeah.
you can get all of that out of you
Yeah.
in less than a 24-hour period without dehydrating yourself completely, and that's where that fine line is walked.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these guys, they say they're sick. No, they're not. They cut 60 or 30 or 25 pounds
Yeah.
and they're putting IVs in them 20 minutes after to even
Yeah.
try to get back.
That's what I was trying to tell. Who was? I think it was my wife, or maybe I was talking with her and the kids, and I said, they only weigh that for that 1 5-minute period. It's like they get to it right there, they go stay on the scale, and then they don't weigh that ever again.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I remember like Rashad Evans, he said when he was at the top, he would only go up like 10 and like 8 and 10 pounds because he was training around the clock. And so he could not focus on cutting weight, and that's when he was the best. But he said as he got a little older, those 25-pound and 20-pound weight cuts, then
They're
all
too
this,
much, yeah.
it's way too much, especially as you get older. So
Crazy.
What else you have, buddy?
Well, I got. I wanted to talk about, since we're kind of in that realm, we can kind of talk about wrestling a little bit. So WrestleMania's coming up.
Okay.
So far, on what they got for confirmed matches, we got Roman versus Cody.
And we will be doing a special for
Yep.
that.
Yes, we will. That's April 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, I'm getting all the stuff programmed in. I think we'll do that one on N64
Okay.
again.
Yeah, that
So
worked pretty good for the last
Yeah,
one.
it was real.
And it won't be cutting out this time.
No, we had a lot of good feedback on that last time.
We're going to have Rhea and Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title, Bianca and Asuka for the Raw Women's title, Brock Lesnar versus Almost, and this is what they're thinking. Gunther and a 5-way. Hopefully it's a ladder match. They're saying Drew, Sheamus, Kofi, which he's hurt, Karrion Kross, and LA Knight. Let's see here. Austin Theory, which they just did this last night. Austin Theory, who's the U.S. champ, versus John Cena.
That was one of my intros for Skin Man that it wasn't here today. I was going to say one of them's into Austin Theory, the other's into conspiracy theory.
Oh, there we go. Did you see any of that? The promo between them?
I've been watching a little bit of AEW for some reason, like just because they kind of got.
Did you see any of that afterwards? MJF after the fact, where he was like, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking marks," and he took a shot at Roman.
Well, it was pretty cool. I know you don't like what's his name, but
Daniel Bryan.
No.
Tony Khan.
No, your favorite ex wrestler,
CM Punk.
Yeah, but he went on a thing where he's like, I fought a John, or that was better than this John, or you're the. This is because he's in a group now, John Moxley or whatever, and he's like, "You're the third best guy in your group again." And then he said, And then
when Punk said that, yeah.
And then he was referring to like John Cena. I fought a John that was a way better John than you.
I like that.
That was a badass promo.
Yeah.
That's when that was like I'm like, that dude's getting his stride again. So if he could keep himself out of trouble.
Yeah, he's just a dickhead.
I know he is.
And it could be all
but
fake,
he's
too.
He's
also
show
hurt, too.
motherfucker, though, man. That dude.
I just don't think he's as good. I think when they were having that big thing, he goes, "You're just a fucking less famous Miz is all you are." Yeah.
Yeah, he was. That's what I said. He had just a ton of
zingers, but they were both. The thing is like that where MJF gets a lot of his edge for is he cusses, and you don't see because he don't give a shit.
Well, that was like Daniel Bryan. They did a thing where he's like, "I'm gonna kick your fucking ass,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Daniel Bryan,
Yeah.
yes, or whatever."
Yeah, yep. So we got okay. So, anyways, John Cena was saying like. Austin Theory said something about John Cena's bald spot, and John Cena took off his hat. He's like, "This?" He's like, "That's age, buddy," or something. But he goes, "Yeah, well, I'd rather have a bald spot than have them pump fake crowd noise into my match because nobody gives a shit about me."
Yeah.
You know? But
And I'm surprised with because Theory's got all the look, all those things, but you got to have.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have Seth Rollins and Logan, which they got them together. Looks like Becky and Lita and Trish versus Damage.
Are they
Control.
saying what nights the fights are on yet or anything? Because this is a 2-night event.
Obviously, the main event Sunday will be Roman and Cody.
Yeah.
And I think
what's the main event on Saturday night? I wonder.
They haven't said yet. I'm guessing if it's the Usos and Sami Zayn.
I know it's crazy, but I could see a Logan Paul working into that one or close to a main event. And he could be a starter of one too.
Yeah, you want to be first or last. You don't want to be you definitely don't want to be second. So
yeah.
So what's going on with the Bloodline shit right now is just on Monday Night Raw. Roman said, "Jimmy, you need to beat Sammy. We're gonna squash this shit right now." And Jimmy lost to Sammy, and Jay came out and didn't do anything to Jimmy. Walked back out of the ring, walk up to Sammy. And he gives him a hug and fucking throws up the ones with Sammy. Gets some space. Fucking super kicks him, slams him.
But he was the one that kicked him the first time, right? Because Jimmy's the one that wouldn't do it the first time, I thought.
Jimmy did. Jay didn't.
Oh, okay.
Jay's the one
so
that's
now
been
Jay's
gone.
switched.
So now Jay's back on, yeah. And he's
Okay.
like, he had Sammy down, fucking punch him in the face. He's like, "This is some family shit."
So then it is going to be.
Threw him back in there, and they start to beat down. Cody comes out for the save. So here's what I think's going to happen, okay? I read that 1,000 days of Roman's reign, the Roman's reign as champion is slated for this Saudi Arabia backlash thing. It just does not make sense to me unless Roman's just fucking burned out and can't go anymore to let Cody beat him. I think he's going to beat Cody. Then I read that they're going to do a draft afterwards and they're going to split the title. He's just going to give up the WWE title. And then Cody will probably win it at that point in time. Then I think Jay's gonna fucking take it from him. That would make the most sense. The whole thing started with Jay with him. I mean, he took the title from the Fiend or whatever, but he fucking submitted Jay down until he made him fucking be his little bitch in there. It just makes sense for Jay to take it from him, and that would be fucking awesome. And then
It's
give
hard to
Roman a year off or whatever.
Yeah, hard to say.
That'd be cool though.
Good
wouldn't it?
storyline. I still think, I don't know, they're just playing Cody up too. Of course, I guess if they are going to split him up, then that gives your best chance. But
It just seems forced.
yeah, and but it would also seem hard to put the title right back on Uso after he's held the tag titles for that long. But they do. I mean,
They could lose it.
Yeah.
Lose it at Mania, and then they're gonna have to split those back up because then they need a Raw one and a SmackDown one. I don't know. That's just my thoughts, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
I would like to see that. I think it'd be fucking cool to see Jay beat him.
Well, it's probably
He deserves it, man.
Yeah, it's time to switch it up too. But the thing is, once that happens, are the Usos ready to go singles? Because once you start getting that, then you're kind of done with the tag thing. And
Yeah, and that only really happened because Jimmy was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he tore his ACL or whatever it was. But
well, Jay's the one that I've always thought's the better one.
yeah, you like Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. What? You had a couple stories.
I do have a couple stories, but I do have one more thing before that. Have you seen the trailer for the new Ninja Turtle movie? So you know Seth Rogen's making it, right? So it's cartoon.
I did. Okay, I did. Yes, I did.
And
yes.
it kind of reminds me of the Spider-Man multiverse,
Yeah.
how they kind of look, but they're like 13-year-old Ninja Turtles. So
well, it's about where they were in the beginning.
It's gonna have Baxter Stockman. Jackie Chan is gonna be Splinter's voice.
Okay.
Maya Rudolph is Cynthia Ultram. I don't know who that is. Paul Rudd is Mondo Gecko. Post Malone is Ray Fillet. I don't ever remember that character. And then let's see here. I don't know who any. Rose Byrne is Leatherhead, which I've heard of her. John Cena is playing Rocksteady, which is weird because Sheamus was Rocksteady in the last movie.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah. Yeah. Jackie Chan. Ice Cube is Superfly. Seth Rogen's Bebop. That'd be funny.
Well, who are the turtles?
They're kids. Micah Abbey is Donatello. Shaman Brown Jr. is Michelangelo. Nicholas Cantu, I think I've heard of him, is Leonardo. And Raphael is Brady Noon. And April O'Neil is Black.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
She
they
was
said-
in one of the remakes.
They said in the original comic book that she was like mixed.
Well, that's why I said she's real dark, but she had the red hair. That was why I
Yeah.
think every time you recast her, you had to make her a white chick because it's hard to find a sister with red hair.
So that would be cool if we get, I don't know who Cynthia Ultram is, but Baxter Stockman, I always liked him.
Yeah.
Rocksteady and Bebop are
We'll see
all-time
which story.
favorite
I wonder what
characters.
storyline they go off
Yeah.
of, or if it's just an all new one or whatever.
Superfly sounds like a bad person.
I don't remember half of these. I had all the freaking ones too. I mean, I remember. I mean, obviously,
Hannibal Buress is Genghis Frog.
and but they did all those spin-offs for a while where they had the China ones, they had the panda, they had all that. So maybe they're bringing all those people.
Let's see here. Why does Rose Byrne sound so familiar?
I think you're just thinking Rose McGowan.
Oh, Rose Byrne. Yeah, of course. Rose Byrne. She's a chick from The Neighbors.
Okay.
His wife.
There you go.
Yeah, I like
Well, he uses her in a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
so they must.
I don't know.
I don't know if they're girlfriend, boyfriend, or.
No, he's married to like a regular chick.
Well, I think I think I
Or
remember
she's
that.
like a writer or
Yeah,
something
but
like
I think it was like a chick he's been with forever.
Yeah.
What's your take on the John Morant thing?
Oh, why he's acting like such a dumbass? It's like those. Who was like the last guy? You just can't stop him from being an idiot.
But you know what the thing about him is, like, if you've watched, I don't know, I've seen a thing come out. You know, like he's only doing himself, and I don't want to say his race or whatever because that sounds stupid, but it is doing them a disservice because he's a dude that is everything that you want to make it.
He like went to a private
That's
school
what I said.
and
He
all this
seems
shit.
like he came from a good home. His dad's a well-spoken.
It's like a
dude.
movie.
Exactly, but it's like, you know, and I told this to you before the show, but it's like that old Chappelle thing. It's like when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you've made it. Like, what do you have to prove? And I get it's fun to go party, do all that. Go party, go to strip clubs. Leave the guns at home. You have your security and the people that you make multi-million dollars to have guys carry guns with. I mean, The freaking rappers and the guys that made it, you know what they did?
Yeah.
Got security and put their guns away. Ice Cube, freaking Snoop Dogg, all them, when they only carried guns when they had to carry them. Once they made it, they put that shit away. And the ones that didn't are the T.I. and the guys that are, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the whole Perkins thing? Oh, fuck, you haven't seen that?
Going off on him.
Kendrick Perkins.
He's that guy. He loves to go off on people. But
so he said, he made a comment the other day that the only reason why Djokovic is gonna win MVP again is because he's white, and that only these white voters are just gonna vote for them, and so JJ Redick was on First Take this morning and fucking destroyed him.
Yeah.
Oh, destroyed him. And he was like, all he did was start. JJ Redick is obviously smart as fuck. He went to Duke. He's very educated, and he's good at his
he
job.
gets along with the brothers. Of course, he did.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys, I think, that was one of the ones that dropped the N-bomb at some point at like one of those concerts or something too. But
I don't know. Well, he was on Kendrick Perkins' ass, and Kendrick's like, like stuttering, getting all fucking mad, rolling his eyes, yelling and shit. And it's like, you just proved his point. You're a fucking idiot. You're a joke. And then he started bringing all these facts up. He's like, oh, yeah? Well, you say they're outside of the top 10 scorers? And he's like, Magic Johnson won it in 87, top 15. Magic Johnson won it 89, number 18. And he just made him look like an idiot.
Well, and I will say, though, that during those probably years, there wasn't a guy, the white guys in the NBA had fallen to where the best one wasn't even.
Yeah, but we've had 3 white guys, and these aren't even fucking real white people. These aren't even.
Yeah, they're foreigners and all that.
Steve Nash isn't even American.
But it's a. I can kind of get because for this fact that LeBron didn't win 5 in a row when he was at the top, the fact that Kobe didn't win 5 in a row when he was.
Kobe only ever won 1, didn't he?
I thought he won 3 total, but. The fact that Michael Jordan never won 3 in a row, I don't think. The fact that that Tim Duncan, who clearly was as good or whatever dominant on the best team for a 3-year period, never won. So I just don't think.
It has nothing to do with being white.
No, though. But I will say, because he's cleaner, he doesn't get in trouble, he doesn't do that. But all I'll say is the MVP is the best player on the best team, and they've been the best team. Regular season wise, that gets beat out in the first, second round every year.
Yeah, that's what JJ Redick said. He said it exactly how he said. It's the best team, the best player on the most valuable player on the best team in the regular season. He goes, playoffs don't matter, and the playoffs the year before don't matter.
Well, to me, if LeBron wasn't hurt this year, the fact that to me he's just at his age and that team is not he's the best player on that team hands down.
I saw somebody say that. I think
this
it was
to me was one of his most impressive seasons, minus the injuries. Because
I mean, he's just going to shut it down now because they're not going to get the playoffs.
I think they still have a little of a chance for the play-in game,
and it's probably so they can get rid of Anthony Davis too, because he just
it's time. I mean, because could you imagine? I mean, I think
they got rid of Westbrook. They're going to
Bosh made more sense with him because Bosh was there every game. I think Davis when he's right and all those things, but I
wonder how many games he's missed in his career compared to Zion, which Zion's
not
a lot
even
more.
close.
That's probably who they'll get. They'll probably fucking
Hopefully
get Zion,
not.
and he'll just be hurt the whole time.
Probably not. No, I think from what I hear, they're trying to lock Davis up long term. I don't know why, because he's 30 and injured more than your 38-year-old guy that when he's there is carrying your team. But
right here, 110.
Well, that's really not that bad, honestly, for 10 seasons.
Over the course of 7 career, AD has missed a total of 110 regular season games with
so what's 110 divided by 7? 7.
Well, you got to do 82 times 10.
What's that?
You got to do 80.
Well, he's 7 seasons, and he's missed 110 games. I was just trying to say per season.
So 82 times 7 is 574 divided by 10. 57 games is on average is what he's played.
Yeah. And I guess, but see, my thing is, you look at like Kawhi Leonard, who doesn't get any of the crap. He plays 45 or 50 games a year. You look at a lot of those guys. I mean, even Lillard's a guy who's probably my most respected guy, and he still probably plays 65 games a year, So that's the one thing.
A lot of these guys don't.
That's what I give like the Tim Duncan's, who was kind of the edge of that, and even LeBron. LeBron's never done load management until he hit 36. You know, he was playing every night, every game up until, and I don't think if he was injured, I think he'd still be playing every night, every game.
And they're saying a lot of these guys they're burnt out before they ever even make it because they're playing basketball year round now.
Yeah.
You know, it's
well,
not
that's why I said the injury. You don't. Yeah,
that's new, that's a relatively new thing. You think like now kids, like competitive kids, are playing all fucking year long. Well, you go back to 15 years ago when that started, and those guys are the guys that are in the NBA and shit now. They've got a lot of miles on their body.
Oh yeah, and you also, you know, you even hear a lot of the best athletes say, I think you're better to play all sports. You're better to play multiple sports, maybe 2 seasons of whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I even listened to Colin Kaepernick has a new book out now. It ends with him declaring for Nevada. So it doesn't cover any of his college or any of his pro stuff. It covers him like through like middle school and high school and like the making of his dream, not the destruction of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, even there he talked about how, you know, he played baseball, he played everything, and he actually had like, I guess like 25 scholarships offers for baseball, and actually had like MLB like said, you know, we'll draft you straight away, you're going to go play.
A lot of those guys do. Like they was good. Like,
but you don't, I never
and-
really heard that about him, you know,
Yeah.
and he's like, the only school that offered him was Nevada, and he wanted to go play football.
Yeah.
And so
I saw some deal about Tom Brady that they're going to release his, like a fake rookie card of him now that he's retired because he got drafted by the Expos.
Oh.
Yeah, like whatever year that was, that they're going to, I think he was the last first pick or something of the Expos or something like that. So, which they're not a team anymore.
No,
So, yeah.
Montreal Expos,
Yeah.
then they were something else. Now they're the Nationals essentially, but
Yeah. Well, so yeah, supposedly they're going to, and it's going to be, you know, they're going to only release so many of them. It's going to be worth a lot of money.
well, anything Tom Brady's worth a lot
Yeah.
of money. So
Woman who went missing more than 30 years ago and declared dead turns up alive in Puerto Rico. Patricia Copta, news, who has been known to be an eccentric street preacher who went by the name Sparrow, was last seen in Pennsylvania in 1992. A U.S. woman who's declared legally dead after disappearing more than 3 decades ago has turned up alive in Puerto Rico, her family and police have said. Patricia, now 83, was last seen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1992, and investigators have been looking into her disappearance. This just reminds me, didn't that crazy bitch from the Tiger Show, didn't that dude turn up alive?
I think so. Yeah.
What's her name?
Oh, her husband?
Yeah, he's alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
God damn it, what's her name?
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin. She didn't kill him.
Really?
He's alive.
Or it's a fake person they've hired since now to then.
I don't know. I heard he's like they
Because
found
he
him
was
alive.
well. Then he was wanted for some stuff when he went missing.
Let me look that up real quick.
Well, maybe this is related to that. No.
Yeah, maybe these two were hanging out. Let's see here.
No, I don't. He found alive.
Carol Baskin says dead husband was found alive, but no one noticed.
Well, do you think there'd be a bigger story than that? Hey,
all
cool
you
cats and
cool
kittens.
cats and kittens.
I wanna
Carol
punch her in
Baskin
her
claims
mouth.
her husband isn't dead after all. I definitely didn't feed him to a tiger.
So why? Where's he at? Because I mean,
Well, let's see here.
We're
He was
just-
found in Costa Rica. Don Lewis was found alive in Costa Rica, but the discovery is just now going viral over a year later. During a resurfaced November 2021 interview with ITV's This Morning show, Baskin, 61, alleged that her ex, who was declared legally dead in 2002 after disappearing a few years before, was actually alive and well. However, not everyone is buying it. Baskin herself told the Post she was unaware of the alleged revelation until the sequel series was broadcast in November 2021. I was not aware of it until Tiger King 2 aired.
TK2.
TK2. So it's like Terminator 2, you know? Baskin told the Post via email, as much confusion in the online debate ignited on social media. The animal rights activist alleged in his resurface on ITV footage that the Department of Homeland Security has been in touch with their former spouse.
Well,
They said that my husband, Don Lewis, is alive and well in Costa Rica, she revealed, and yet all the drama has been made about me having something to do with his disappearance.
well, you would sure think there would be more of it than a story about her doing it.
Yeah, that don't seem right, but
maybe they can't. Because I thought there was something illegal about something they were doing when he went missing. I thought
something
was
to
on
do with the cats, right?
Yeah, like like they were wanted for something.
So he disappeared in 97 at the age of 59 and would be 84 if he's still alive today.
Well, that works out perfect with the story you're doing.
So
I did when I sent this to you. I captioned the story. What I say? Does the woman really? Did the woman really want to be married?
Yeah, I guess not.
So keep reading and
So Miss Kopta, who has dementia, has been living in a nursing home after she was taken in as a person in need 7 years after she disappeared. It's a relief she hasn't been murdered. Her husband, Bob Kopta, said he has been married to Miss Kopta for 20 years. He had been married 20 years before she went missing. He said, it's a relief knowing that she's not laying in a ditch somewhere or murdered somewhere. The 86-year-old added that his family suspected she may be in Puerto Rico, but she was declared dead around 25 years ago. The retired electrician also said he consulted with a psychic about her whereabouts. Miss Kopta has two sisters, a twin.
Is my wife still alive?
Yeah. No, we have a twin,
let me
though.
check my cards.
No.
No.
Dead still.
Definitely not in Puerto
Yeah.
Rico.
Yeah. The twin died 6 years ago, and a younger sister who was revealed to learn that she's still alive. She said he experienced a range of emotions over the years, but is content knowing his wife is alive and being cared for. After 30 years... Whoa, is that her?
I don't know if that's her or the sister. I'm assuming that's her.
That's her.
She doesn't look nothing like the picture up above, by the way.
That's her. She was way better looking then.
Yes, definitely in her 50s or 30s or whatever.
Let's see here. After
you're below it. You got to the picture. There you go.
Yeah, after 30 years, you try not to forget about it. You try to forget about it. Now I can forget about it. We know what happened, and she's taken care of now, he said. Mr. Kopta said his wife has worked as an elevator operator at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh before she vanished. Before her disappearance, U.S.-based doctors at a mental health facility had diagnosed her with delusions of grandeur and said she had signs of schizophrenia. So I want to know how the hell she got to Puerto Rico, man.
Well, apparently
she loved the ocean, it said.
Well, the story goes on. She used to go to Puerto Rico a lot. She used to go there before they were married.
Mm-hmm.
She has a affinity for something down there, some animal or something.
They said that she believed Miss Kopta fled the country because she was concerned she was going to be institutionalized, so she got the hell out of there.
But, so here's my take on it. At first, when I first read the story and got a couple of, I sent the story off and I said, woman doesn't want to be married to husband. No, what it was is the husband convinced her she was crazy to leave. I mean, because here's the thing. Your wife's found after 30 years missing, and granted she disappeared on you because she was crazy and whatever. Yeah. But not even, I'm content knowing she's alive. No, I don't want to go see her. No.
I mean, I'm claiming her on my taxes still, but, whatever.
But, he was never a person of interest in the thing, which is even weird because usually the husband's automatically.
Yeah, they're like, take this guy to jail.
Is he the one that was telling everybody, she's crazy. Don't worry. No, just, don't look for her.
Yeah.
So that one made me chuckle at work today.
Here's another story. Brothers jailed after dressing up as elderly men in extremely lifelike latex masks to rob jewelry stores.
Dude, it's awesome. That's some good.
Dude, they look good there, man.
Yeah, I mean, you would completely. I mean, I know they have masks on that are helping it more, but you look at the picture of them.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You got freaking Biden and I don't know who the other one would be.
Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Or
yeah.
Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci. Two robbers robbed a jewelry store and took off with 15,000 pounds Rolex after disguising themselves as elderly men with extremely lifelike latex masks. The pair might have got away with it if they hadn't abandoned the mask in the boot of the car. The fuck's the boot of the car?
Maybe I don't know.
We don't talk like that
trunk?
in America.
Yeah,
it's trunk.
There you go.
Several weeks after the robbery, one of the brothers was stopped by police while driving in the car. What the hell are they looking in his trunk for?
Well, I don't know, but
I thought they only do that in America, and you got to be.
Over there, they have less rights, so they just we're looking in your trunk.
They're like, "Hello, mate. Let's look in your trunk. What the fuck are these masks?"
Yeah. Ooh, you're not an old man.
Why do you have two masks, a knife, a hatchet, and a cable ties?
And multiple license plates.
And DNA along. Oh, there's jizz all over in there.
Oh, okay. Well,
you can't just do that.
Well, you get excited after you rob a bank.
Yeah,
you have a latex mask on, and you're telling me that doesn't make you horny?
So they were just both standing there just like,
we did it!
We did it. So Greg Murphy Bristow was arrested at the scene after forensic examination of the saliva in the mask linked the brothers to the robbery. Murphy Bristow and his older brother, Benjamin Murphy, were arrested separately. The mask featured a patch, a bald patch, and gray hair, as well as aged and wrinkled skin. Blue medical masks partially concealed their faces. Their masks were extremely lifelike, Essex police said in a statement. Gloves and a trench coat completed the disguise. The jacket was also found in the car. You gotta fucking throw that shit away.
Yeah, you put it up in your.
Put it all in different dumpsters.
Or no, you keep it for the next one, but you hide it somewhere better. I think you put it in your attic.
Somewhere, yeah. You
there's
don't
a
put it
lot
in
of places
the
you
boot
could.
of your car.
Yeah, I mean, heck, BTK was, a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
But
He was
listen,
smart with his
they never found his stuff until they searched his house. He was burying shit in walls. You're telling me these guys obviously weren't married. They couldn't just bury some shit in their walls.
Yeah. It's just like if you're gonna dispose of a body, you don't you gotta cut that shit into pieces.
Or maybe some acid.
I watched some movie the other day, and it reminded me of when you had a friend and everybody hates their wife or whatever. It was called I can't remember what it was called, but it's like they killed they were talking about it like, man, we should. It was the black dude from Scrubs.
Okay.
He was married to some real bitch, and their friends all fucking hate. He wasn't allowed to. It reminds me of somebody else we know that's never allowed to do anything, can't do anything, and they're like, man, she's a real bitch.
Clear it up so you don't get in trouble. It's your cousin you're talking about.
Yeah. They're like, we should just kill her. And they're like, yeah, we should, how? And then one of the guys was Patrick, what the fuck is it? Patrick Wilson, you know who that is? The guy, he's in lots of shit. You would recognize him. Anyway, he was like, we should, I've done some research on this. He's like, we could do this and we could do this. And so one of the dudes ends up going in and talking to her, and they get in an argument, and he slams her face in a cake, and she falls down and hits her head.
And dies.
And almost dies, and he fucking chokes her out and kills her. Well, then what's his name comes in, and one of his buddies comes in. That guy there, comes in and sees her. He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I killed her." They're like, "What the fuck?" So then the black dude from Scrubs comes in, and he's like, "Oh man," and he doesn't care at all. And then their wives come in. They're like, "What are we gonna do?" So the other guy's like, "I got it." Patrick Wilson's like, I got it. And they throw her in the bathtub. He's like, we got to drain her out. They fucking drain all of her blood out, and they're chopping her into pieces and cutting her fingers off and everything. And you think at the end of the movie, it's going to end up with them
getting away with it,
getting busted.
Oh, and they don't.
Yeah, just the movie ends.
On.
Yeah, the movie just ends. Yeah. So,
well,
but it's funny how they're like, yeah, we should just fucking kill her, man. And that one guy does. Fucking, he's choking her.
I think this would be our third time we've talked about how we'd get rid of bodies on this show. So we ought to, clarify. It's all a joke. It's a comedy podcast. If anything does happen around us,
yeah, we didn't
purely
do it.
Circumstantial.
We did not
purely,
do it.
Purely just, stuff happens.
Find the name of this movie for you so you can watch it.
I don't. I'll have to watch it, but
it was on Amazon Prime. Is what we found out. We were looking for a movie to watch.
Well, I told myself when I was in my darkness.
Let's Kill Ward's Wife is the name of this movie. And the black dude from Scrubs is Ward.
This was obviously like a straight to...
I wouldn't have... Straight to Amazon, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
Amazon
an older movie. But where's the... Yeah, that's her face after she gets slammed into the cake.
The cake.
Yep. It was his son's birthday party, too. And,
Well, here's what I would say. Just leave her or divorce her.
Yeah.
And crap, speaking of that, I am officially today, if my wife decides to leave me, I got no kids left. I got all adults.
Is today Isaac's birthday?
Yep, my son turns 18 today. I got a 21-year-old daughter. They're all adults.
So you wouldn't have to pay child support anymore.
Nope.
Man.
Or she wouldn't have to if the kids decided, if they were going to go with me in this situation.
Yeah, but now they're adults.
Now they're adults. I think if we did split up, since they're both still at home, they'd both stay with their moms still.
Yeah.
But,
so what'd you get him for his birthday?
I gave him $100, and I bought him a...
We're going to take him a script. Hey, my wife's gone this weekend. Let's go to Script Club.
I'm trying to... I couldn't even get him to go. I was... because we had talked yesterday. We were gonna do our show yesterday. It's Tuesday, by the way, the 7th of March, and we were gonna do the show yesterday. You were still sick, And I, kind of didn't think about it. Agreed to do the show today. I knew when my son's birthday is, so let's rephrase. I just didn't realize yesterday was the 6th. Coming out of a darkness retreat, you lose all. I thought it was still February until literally an hour and a half ago.
Yeah,
or
for
this
sure.
morning. But I kind of last night we had discussed that he didn't want to do nothing today. He'd rather do something this weekend.
So we're gonna take him to Michael's beach house.
Yeah, maybe.
Hell yeah.
Well, he wants to go. We'll be eating dinner at the place next door to it.
Yeah. Well, fuck.
So we'll just walk right over with my mom and Amy's mom and go.
Why not?
My mom would be into it. I don't know
Yeah,
about Amy's mom. She likes margaritas. I'll tell them they have like the cheapest margaritas in town and they're the strongest.
When we ate at that place next door, we're not going back there ever again.
How come?
I didn't tell you about what happened.
When you guys went on again?
We took my kids there. Hair all over in every one of our plates. It was
What?
fucking disgusting.
Really?
Yeah, it was awful.
I've been there 20 times and never got hair. I got puked on once there right when we walked in. It took me about a year to go back. I never told you that story. But right when we walked in, there was some dude that was hammered drunk or whatever, kind of stumbling out and literally puked at me and got on our shoes and right where we were sitting, we got puked on.
Gross.
And I had to leave. My wife's like, no, we just. I'm like, there's zero chance I'm eating here.
Not a chance.
And I didn't go back for 6 months but it was nothing on the place.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, we won't name the place, but yeah.
It's hard to know. I always fear when I go in to eat with you that I'm always going to end up with something in my stuff. But
no, it's all of my kids. And then Bella is a huge germaphobe, and she was over there having a fucking meltdown. She's
what the hell? Did you send it back?
No, they were already into they're kids. They don't really.
Still, I would have sent it back.
Well, it was we had too many people there. It's my whole fucking. When we roll deep.
Yeah.
And then Audra and her kids were there, and we end up getting it for free, all of that stuff. But still, it's we're not going back after that.
Yeah.
I was told that the version of that place over by my house is better anyways. So
I've been to there's 3 of them, I think, in town. I've been to all of them. They all seem the same, but I don't know.
One of my buddies, Ken, who lives here in Derby, said that one over by our house is better. So we'll have to try it out.
There you go.
My wife and I and the kids, we do like the white cheese there.
Yeah, they do have the best queso, man.
It is good.
And it's not because it's white. It's just because it's the type of queso.
No, it's because it's white. That's what it means.
All right. Well, they don't have a dark queso option. So
No. I do have one more story that you sent me, and it's not about Carol Baskins. So a $1 million winning lottery ticket spent the night in a bag of trash.
To me, this was what was it? Everybody Loves Earl. My name's Earl. What's the show? My name's Earl.
Yeah.
It's almost identical to that was what it made me think of. It's not once you read it, but.
So a Michigan woman said a $1 million lottery ticket she initially confused for a non-winner spent the night in a bag of trash before she decided to take a second look. 30-year-old Clinton County woman told Michigan lottery officials she bought a pair of sizzling hot 7 scratch-off tickets from the Hanson Quick Stop in
I played
Ovid.
that game, so.
Yeah, my wife does too. I play the new instant tickets when they come out each month, the woman said. I was at the store one night and decided to buy 2 of the sizzling hot 7 tickets since it's a newer game. I scratched the tickets when I got in my car and thought they were both non-winners, so I put them in a bag with some other garbage to throw away. So my wife does scratch out tickets a lot, but she scans them. She's got that app on her phone.
Okay.
So even if
but still then, man, what if the thing? See, back in the day when you used to play, and I don't know, I worked at a gas station, so we used to play some lottery on our break. We didn't watch and scan who was buying what and where they were winning, and then buy maybe a group of 20 or anything. But so we would do it. But you could just scratch off around the outside, and if you won $10. The little letter TEN would be spaced around there, or ONE, or FRE, or HUN for 100.
Yeah.
So we knew exactly where you could scratch. We like playing some of them, but some of them take forever. A crossword, you can't play the whole thing every time.
Yeah.
So you just start scratching. You buy 100 tickets at $5 a piece, spend your whole check on, tickets, and then you'd scratch them off. And
that's what my wife she'll play him, and then she'll it's not a winner. She's like, I'll just check anyways and scan it in case, she missed something. But so the player said she didn't realize her mistake until the next day. The next morning, I decided to look the tickets over one more time before throwing them away. When I saw I'd won $1 million, my heart started racing, and I thought I was going to faint.
Miss it,
I don't
guess
know.
you don't expect that. Like you look at okay, I didn't get the free, I didn't get the 5. You know, surely I didn't get the million.
I called my mom and husband right away to tell them the good news. I'm so glad I decided to look the ticket over again before throwing away the winner called.
See, I don't have the app, but I am a freak about the only time we play lottery. I mean, I might occasionally buy one here and there, but Christmas every year, my mom buys us all like somewhere between $50 and $100 worth of lottery tickets a piece, and we sit there. And it's in our stocking. But
That's
after
a good present.
Yeah, after we open presents, we all sit around and scratch tickets for an hour, and usually don't win shit, and I always feel bad. But you know, my kids are like, nope, not a winner, not a winner, and I'm like double checking them, and I'll put them all aside, and after I'm done, I'm going back through them
until
like
you find it.
Yeah, like I just even a fucking dollar. I ain't throwing a dollar away. I'm poor, man. You know.
Yeah, my wife went through a bunch just last night, and she's like, I got some winners up. She goes, I got some winners up here. And she went and checked them and scanned them. She's like, I got $19 between like 12 tickets she had laying around.
Well, it's like me. 2 years in a row, we always say, like, I try to remember somewhere around August, like, I got to go trade my Christmas winners in. And because I put them in a drawer, and then I'm like, I'm going to go do it, and then I'm going to go do it, and I'm going to do it. Every year, I'm like, you know, one year I had like $53.
Yeah.
And like the $25 one was still valid. The rest of them were not.
I saw that happen at a gas station one time. Some girl, but then actually a girl I went to high school with. I saw her. She was in there trying to. They're like, yeah, they're expired. She's like, shit.
I did read where I guess you can send them in and they'll give.
I think that's what she was saying too. Like you can send them to Topeka. Or
and the lottery board decides, and usually they'll pay you out if it's not like so old, or if they don't think it's like a stolen ticket or something. So, did you? The only other thing I had was I was bored. I was laying out here, so I watched a bunch of the combine stuff, and they had Rich Eisen on there, and they were in the middle of talking. All of a sudden, he like throws out some comment that, basically it wasn't how I said it, because I said apparently Rivers is having trouble paying for those 17 kids because he was inquiring last year about coming back to the NFL. Phillip Rivers, 17-year vet, I think, something like that. I don't know how long he played. Long time. But as soon as Tua went down, he reached out to the Dolphins. As soon as soon as the 49ers, what's his name, got hurt, Garoppolo got hurt, he reached out to them. And then I guess supposedly one other team, but those were the only two named teams. But I just thought, like you could make a multi-million-dollar. You have 17 kids. You got 17 colleges to pay for.
That's a lot.
I don't know how many he actually has. I think it's like 12 or 15, but insane amount. So
we watched I saw something that it was on, so I found it and looked at it. I was watching it. And I was trying to explain to my wife what was going on, because she's never a sports person. She didn't know. She's like, I don't understand. I was like, well, they do all these things to judge their athleticism and everything. I was like, and then every year some guy will fucking bust off the charts and they'll pick him, he'll go way higher than he should.
Which is Florida's quarterback
Which is
this
what's
year.
going to happen.
With
Dude,
Anthony
did
Richardson.
you see how fucking that guy's arm? Did you see him throwing like 60 yards? It was like,
Florida's quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the one dude's got a better arm than him.
I didn't see anybody throwing it farther than
that.
him.
Levens, that Kentucky's quarterback,
Levitt.
dude.
Dude, I watched him play. He's a fucking loser.
No, but he's got a cannon. No,
but he's a. I
I
saw
don't know
him
nothing
like.
I
can't remember who it was. I had money on them earlier in the year when they were undefeated still. And he like threw a fucking pick, like the worst, dumbest shit ever. And it's like he fumbled. He threw a pick and fumbled.
I think he's more of a talent than that's why he was at Kentucky. I mean, that was why it's like
they're trying to say he's like Josh Allen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody's looking for that guy.
Well,
look. I mean, it's the same with Florida. Who were they?
I was watching a deal on him too from McAfee, and he was saying like, man, this guy sucked at the beginning of the year, and then like slowly throughout the year he got better and better and better. Obviously, the dude has insane talent.
Yeah, he's a freak athlete, but I mean, they're comparing him like Cam Newton. Well, Cam Newton was winning national championships.
Cam Newton was on the biggest stage of all. Fucking
Cam
dominating.
Newton won a JUCO national championship, then came and won a regular national championship. He won a Heisman. He was
MVP.
running people over. I mean, that's a hard comparison.
Dude, he was such a stud.
I still remember, dude. The thing that I did never. When he was first coming out, me and Skaggs worked together. It was when I owned my mowing company, okay? And we were not sold on him.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson did this interview, and Bo Jackson in there said, Bo knows Cam can.
Yeah.
And that was, to me, would have been the best, because they were both Nike guys, and then Cam ended up leaving or whatever. But, dude, if we could have done because Bo knows and Cam can.
Yeah.
If we would have done.
That would have been badass.
That'd have been an awesome freaking thing, Because everybody doubted him when he first came out, and I still.
Was stud.
He was one of the best 5-year quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
You know,
MVP, you can't ever take that away.
Nope, and took a team that probably did, besides Steve Smith, didn't have superstars to a Super Bowl. I
Yep.
mean, so
Yeah.
and that was when all the kids fell in love with him, and then he fell off the map.
Yeah.
So that happens though. The only other thing I did have was some XFL news. We've got these people into the game. We can't move
You know what
on
I've
from it.
noticed about the XFL is on my ESPN app, they don't show any stats.
Really?
Yeah, like so I tried to click on my team last
Uh-huh.
week just to find out like how like whatever they did. There's no stats on it.
Yeah, I did find
I
a
don't
site
know why
at
that
some
is.
point that did because I was looking at because DiNucci was like the leading yardage guy in the XFL going into this weekend, and
I'm pulling it up right now.
still
Ben
is.
DiNucci, 855, 83 for 127.1
Yeah,
yards.
he's got a
an attempt.
70% completion
Yeah,
percentage.
7
I
and
mean, he looks like a backup NFL quarterback.
Yeah. Well, McCarron's got 7 and 2 as well. My quarterback, Jack Cohn, he was for Notre Dame. I remember when
Yep.
he took over. Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's a good.
Let's see here, rushing. Oh, dude, the Skinman Skeet. What are they called? Sea Dragons. They got the leading rusher and leading passer.
Yeah, that
But
Ellison
look
dude.
at that, 170 yards.
Yeah, but 5.7 a carry. I think he
Yeah.
just they started using he
Only 30 attempts.
I can't remember what game they played my Vipers this weekend, and was actually a really good game. Huntley got the start at quarterback this week, and it made it more like what we talked about. Like, why don't they have more of those athletic quarterbacks out there playing? And he didn't run a lot, but they looked a lot better. Had a chance to win. Lost still 0-3. After
You guys are 0-3. So it's, Skinman Sea Dragons are 1-2, and
Defenders and Roughnecks are both 3-0.
Yeah, Ease Battlehawks are 2-1. What's the Roughnecks? That was supposed to have been my team, and I picked the.
Yeah, you should have
Brahmas.
stayed with them, man. They got they've got the complete NFL staff. They got an ex-NFL coach, an ex-NFL offensive coordinator, an ex-NFL defensive coordinator, an ex-NFL special teams coach.
Yeah.
They're the only team in the league with all actual. My team, Rod Woodson is the coach. Your team, Hines Ward, both great NFL players, never coached.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take you some time.
It'll be cool to see how.
Your team, that game, I didn't turn it on until halftime. It was like 20.
Katie was playing at that time. That's
It was
the
like
reason I didn't watch.
22-7 at halftime, and like statistically, like I think Brahmas went out and scored first, and then did nothing. Well, then they had, I think I watched the whole second half. They had 3 opportunities to go ahead. Could have kicked field goals in all 3 opportunities and still would have won.
Yeah.
Actually had it to the 1. 4 carries on the 1, couldn't get in. Had it like down to the 10 one time. Went forward on 4th, couldn't get it. Ended up losing 22-13, but it was like a good game.
Good game, yeah.
It has gotten a billion times better. The scores don't completely reflect it in some of the games, but the product has gotten a lot better. It's starting to make more sense. So if you're not watching the XFL, give it a chance, man.
Yeah,
we want to keep it around. Like we're pushing
definitely.
people because it's not NFL football. It's far from it.
It's different.
But these guys are going to be in the NFL. This gives us a reason for if you got a college team like me that is going to have some guys that won't go pro, but you get to go watch them play somewhere else. I mean, like Josh Gordon, I go to the receiving stats. He had 2 touchdowns for the Sea Dragons in this game. Tore it up. Martavius Bryant. These NFL guys are proving.
Let's see here.
I don't know if he's like
Josh Gordon right here. Sea Dragons.
Yeah, 13 catches, 225, and 3 touchdowns.
Yep, that's good.
The
Sea Dragons they got the first 2 top receivers.
Yeah, I don't think that Josh Gordon played like the first week.
Whoever this dude is. Oh, he's got 1 touchdown. Oh, that's just he's got the most yards. Who's got the most touchdowns? Lots of guys that have 3.
The one dude had 4 right back up there.
That's over 40 yards or over 20 yards.
Okay.
So right here.
Gordon, Butler.
Yeah, Hakeem Butler. Yeah. That's Josh Gordon, the guy that got kicked out of the NFL.
Yeah, the guy that to me probably could have been he had one of the best single season NFLs. He had a season where he had over 1,000 and only played 7 games. He had And he's a guy, and we talked about it. And again, rules are rules. But you have guys like Ray Lewis, who murdered somebody, had somebody murdered, who's in the Hall of Fame, who's known as one of the greatest players of all time.
Do it, man.
I know. You have all these guys that have done all this shit, and you had a guy that smoked fucking pot and a whole career. And granted, stopped smoking pot for a couple of years, but like this guy's now come out since like he was on all those head meds and shit, which fucked him up even more. He stopped doing that, and that was, that's what he needed. So, but you gave up millions and millions and millions of dollars because he'd be one of those. He'd be up there with Hopkins making $25-30 million a year as a receiver, dude. Just so.
Yep.
Do you have
Just for
anything
smoking
else?
a little bit of weed, huh?
I guess just because this will be like the fourth week in a row that I've at least I did 3 stories, but I brought 4 of them. They are all world records.
Let's hear them.
I had ice cream split was what this was. 2 Britons dressed up as ice cream and break the New Jersey Marathon record. They literally wore costumes and they still outran everybody, broke the marathon record. So that was story 1. I had Florida man breaks the push-up record. Florida man, 60 years old, does 3,264 push-ups in 1 hour.
What?
To break the world record.
3,000 push-ups in an hour?
Yep. He bested the Guinness World Record when he completed 3,264 push-ups in 1 hour. Rob Sterling said he decided to take on the Guinness record for most push-ups in 1 hour while learning that Australian Daniel Skelly set the record in 2022 with 3,182. So he almost beat him by 100 push-ups in an hour.
That's 54 push-ups a minute.
It's insane, dude. There was a 1 minute world record. There's a 1 minute world record of 144 push-ups in 1 minute. I set out to do that while I was training, realized I couldn't, but realized I might be able to break the hour record.
How do you do 144 push-ups in a minute? I don't think. Okay, so
that would be 1 every 2 seconds, essentially.
Yeah, it'd be more than that.
Or I mean, two every second. I mean,
2 every second. They must not be full extent. There's no way.
I don't know, man. We'll have to. We'll watch it later after this.
I guess.
Story number 7. This one got I titled it as "It Takes a 7-year-old to Teach Us Umping." 7-year-old baseball ump seeks to break world record. 7-year-old Louisiana boy who was just learning to grasp the rules decided he got to get into umpiring.
I saw that little kid doing basketball reffing.
He's been an assistant since the age of 5. And basically, I think he called a high school game and what made it like a big deal. And then the last of my 3 stories, but I did 4, was Thailand. 91-year-old director is the oldest director on record. And then I captioned it with, "I'll bet he's done some porn." And I don't believe that he was in it. I'll bet he's shot some. Thailand's
Ladyboy porn.
Chalong something named the world's oldest TV director. He directs a TV show in Thailand currently.
Okay.
So the 91-year-old Thai man was dubbed the world's oldest TV director by the Guinness Book of World Records after completing his most recent project. The King of Action in Thailand became the world's oldest. Apparently, he started when he was 18 years old. His first director was at 18, last at 91. So,
wow. Well, how old is what's his name? Clint Eastwood.
I don't know. Obviously not 91 yet.
I guess not. Yeah.
Because if he's became the world's oldest,
he's probably pretty close to that.
Yeah, I think he's in his 80s. Clint Eastwood. 1930.
Yeah, so he's whatever that is.
91.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, right?
Well, he's
70 plus 20 plus. He's older than that.
He's 93.
Well, maybe he hasn't directed a movie since then. He's been in one, but apparently hasn't directed one. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess not. I thought he just
at least Guinness doesn't give it to him.
Yeah, maybe not.
I know he was in like the one movie, but I don't know if he directed the last couple movies he's been in.
Cry Macho, so 2 years ago.
So he must have been just short. Yeah, he would have
one more movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Well, Skinman was supposed to be here this week. He threw out his back. I hope to have E. I honestly didn't even invite E because when he called me on Saturday to see what I was doing. Told him I was getting over the COVID, and basically hung up the phone on me.
He hung up on you, huh?
You know, I mean, just like, oh, cool, all right, man. You know, like backing
see
away
ya.
from the phone.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to bring it home, and I get it, man. But we're getting over it. We're safe. I almost called the show last week. It's not COVID. Turns out it was COVID. Thanks, guys. I had it queued up, and then,
No. There we go.
And I'll finish with
See,
this.
I just screw it all up here.
I will eat your ass. Eat your ass. I'm here to date your 6-year-old.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful,
It's away.
and so are we.
It's away.
They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
I hate your guts.
That wasn't the one I meant. I meant I got a bye-bye there, but thanks, guys.